So when you look at the wheel, you'll see that there's circles on the wheel, and they're there for a reason to help you center. This one's been a little scratched up though. So the term throwing comes from the fact that we throw the clay onto the wheel, right? Even though a lot of potters think that throwing is the actual act, but the term came from throwing the pot down. Okay, so the first thing is to try to get the clay centered, and you help yourself a little bit by patting it, you know, if you're just beginning. Now we need a lot of water to lubricate it. I find that when students are starting, they don't put enough water on the clay and it's dry, and that causes the clay to torque and twist and to break off, okay? So the first hand here, this hand, is going to go here, and I'm using the strength of my hand here and my body to push forward, right? So I'm actually pushing in this direction. If I could mark it, like that. So it's this part of the hand, not the upper part, that's pushing, especially here. It's pushing the clay, and the thumb rests over it so that it doesn't go way up, and you push in like that, okay? So you can see we could almost center with just one hand by using this technique, just using this, and you see how my hand is on the pail. It's not up here because I have less control, and I'm kinking my neck muscles. You want to sit relaxed and push forward, right, with this hand, so that it's going in this angle towards 1 o'clock, okay? This hand comes into play by using these 3 fingers down here and pulling the clay this way, right? So we're actually working opposite directions, right? So this clay is going to bring the clay that's here in towards me, and this one is pushing out, okay? So let's do that. We're going to push down, and we're crossing our thumbs. We're always connected. We're not like this. We're always connected one to the other. So we're going to push in with this hand and pull with the fingertips towards us. Now we get the excess clay off the wheel end. And it's a very simple way to center. Again, pushing this way using the force of your body. It's not like this, it's not like this. It's down on here, pushing
Start
forward.
with one hand first or go right?
No, we'll go with both.
Okay.
I'm just showing you.
Okay.
You can start, you know, just that you know how to do it. And then these, you can see on this hand. So you can cut this finger and this thumb off, and these 2 fingers off, because you really don't need it. So you're using these 3 fingers to pull towards you, and this hand pushing towards 1 o'clock. Okay? Then once we feel we have it centered, we're going to go down with our right thumb, but again, I'm still connected, and we're going to push down into the clay to about, I don't have a pin tool. Does somebody have a pin
Yeah,
tool?
right here.
So you're going down with your right thumb, did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
And then we can test the thickness of the bottom there. So that's a good thickness, about 1/4 of an inch. Okay? Thank you. And then once we get down to that level, we're going to pull the wall open, keeping pressure on the outside to 3 o'clock. See how I'm pulling? And at this point, I'm actually slowing down the speed. I'm not up here throwing, like when I'm centering, I'm really a lot slower. And I push down in the center and push it out to the outside. So I can flatten the bottom of the piece, nice and flat. You can do it with your fingertips if you want. I prefer to use my thumb. You will find the way that works best for you. Then you get this finger in here and mark your edge. So now we have a nice flat bottom and ready to go up.
Sorry, what did you mean by mark your edge?
Like this. Just put your finger and you see how I squared off the edge here?
Oh.
So it's not round. Because I'm making a cylinder.
The edge at the top, you mean? Inside?
Right here, inside.
Like a corner
To the bottom.
A corner bottom.
Otherwise, it's kind of curved.
It's going to be curved otherwise. Okay, now it should be pretty good. Now I'm going to push the piece into a cone shape. So I'm going to use my outside hand with the help of the sponge, and I'm not really using the inside fingers. I'm simply pushing the clay in to a cone shape, and then this finger here goes up to the top and compresses the top. And then I can get my two fingers like this and the sponge over it and round it off. Now, why do I go into a cone shape if I'm making a cylinder? Centrifugal force. If I were to go straight up, right off, the clay would want to go out, and I'll have more of a shape like that than a straight shape. This also allows me to get my finger down there and pull the clay up. Wet the walls. So my finger now goes down in here in that ledge and outside, and my inside finger is above my outside finger. Now I can pull the clay up. And I take my time and I keep moving. I don't hold it in one spot. If I do, the piece will twist off. A lot of mistakes that people that begin make is that they pull up on the clay and then they hold it there, and I keep saying move up, move up, move up, and they're not moving up, and they weaken the wall and then it will twist on itself. So we want to be able to pull it up straight. This finger comes out and compresses the top. Okay. Wet the outside and the inside. And the final pull, you see how I force my hand to go back? I'm not pushing in like this. I'm going back because I'm using these two fingers. I'm going to go in for the final pull. And up. See how I weakened that when I stayed there at that point? You can already see it twisting right here. Just by staying, you got to constantly move your hands up. Now there's two ways. I use a cutting tool like this to cut away at the bottom and pull the clay away. Or if you, is it the one? There should be another one. There it is. Some people like this here tool, where they go in and clear that clay away. Okay. This gives the piece a bit of a lift, and then I put this finger underneath there, and I use my thumbnail to produce a mark, just to give it a finished look. This is also a good gathering point for glaze. And then we'll take a look at this. I wasn't really concentrating, I was talking more, but we'll see. So we're going to cut it through, and we're going to go up. So it's not bad. You can see. So when I'm throwing, when I have my fingers inside and my fingers outside, my inside fingers is slightly above. Do you see this action here? So that I'm actually pushing the clay up with the outside hand. Do you see that?
So this finger's above.
Higher. One up and get this hand under it so that you're pulling up the clay like this. And you're actually pushing the clay up with this finger.